Alright, 5M, let's start out with a warm-up. Go ahead and pull your whiteboards and answer these. Use the standard algorithm to solve this though. In junior high, you don't get to use your lattice method. We need to be practiced with our standard algorithm. Please pause to do that now. Okay, you're back and ready to see your answers. Here are your answers. If you have any questions about your standard algorithm, please be sure to raise your hand and help. Someone will come around and help you with it. Today we're going to be learning about order of operations. Our learning target is I can find solutions using the rules for order of operations. First, I want you to turn to journal page 222. It's going to be, we're doing lesson 7.5, so we're taking a step back in our journal, but it's going to help us out in the long run. So, turn to journal page 222 and answer these. Don't worry about number 3, about who do you think was right, and explain your answer. Don't stress about it because we're going to go over it later on. So go ahead and pause now and answer these, and then come back to the video when you're finished. Okay, you're back and ready to move on. What I'd like you to do is to pause and watch the Math Antics video on order of operations linked below. When you're finished with this video, please come back. Alright, you're back from watching the Math Antics video about order of operations. So, after watching that video, we can see how Francis and Zach got 72. They took 4 plus 5, which was 9, and then they times that by 8 to get 72. Now, when you thought, how did Ann and Rick get 44? They took 5 times 8, and then which is 40, and then added 4, which gave them 44. So if we look at this next one, it says, Robin's friends could not agree on who was right. Finally, Robin said, I need to buy one under 12 ticket for $4 and 5 adult tickets for $8. Then Robin's friends knew who was right. Now it asks us, who do you think was right, and to explain our answer. Well, after watching our video of operations, we know that we have to multiply first. So we'd have to take 5 times 8 and then add our 4. So to answer, who do you think was right, Ann and Rick would be right because they did the correct order of operations. They multiplied first and then they added. Okay? So a way to remember the order of operations is simple. Use a mnemonic device to help you. The one that I learned when I was in high school was, please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. So the P stands for parentheses, the E stands for exponents, the M stands for multiply, the D stands for divide, the A stands for add, and the S stands for subtract. Another one I thought of was purple-eyed monster drinking a soda. You can use either one, or you can come up with one of your own. If you can come up with one of your own, don't be afraid to use it, whatever works for you. If you do come up with one of your own, I'd love to hear it, so share it with me. So please excuse my dear Aunt Sally or purple-eyed monster drinking a soda. So let's try one together. Using our order of operations, I put it here. Please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. So we know we have 4 plus 5 times 6. If we look over here, we see parentheses. We don't have any parentheses. Then we go to our E, which is exponents. And we look 4 plus 5 plus 6. We don't have any exponents. Then we come to our M, multiply. And we come back into our problem and we see that we have multiply. We have 5 times 6. So we do that first. We take 5 times 6, which is 30. So we bring that down. Then we can bring down our 4. We go 4 plus 30. And now our last order of operations, which is actually the last operation that we have, is 4 plus 30, which is simple, which would give us 34. Okay? All right, now I would like for you guys to answer these next two on your own. Remember, please excuse my dear Aunt Sally, and answer these. When you have them answered, come back to the video and we'll go over them together. Please do that now. All right, let's look at this next one together. We have a parentheses, 4 plus 5 times parentheses 2 plus 3 minus parentheses 10 times 2. So we have to go over to the right here, and we look at our, please excuse my dear Aunt Sally, and we see that we have parentheses as our first part. So we're going to grab our pen here, and we see that we have an addition, another addition, and a multiplication. If we come over to our dear Aunt Sally, we see that the P is parentheses, E is exponents, and M is multiplication. So we know we're going to be doing the multiplication parentheses first. So we take 10 times 2, which is 20. And then we just have our adding, which we can do whichever one we'd like to do first. So I'll do 4 plus 5 gives me 9. And then 2 plus 3 is 5. We have to remember to bring down these important pieces of our equation here. We have to remember to bring those down, so we bring down our multiplication sign and our subtraction. So now we've already gone back into our please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. And we see that multiplication is before the S of subtraction. Subtraction is the last thing we do. So if we take 9 times 5 gives us 45. Then we have to subtract 20. So 45 minus 20 is 25. So our answer for that one should have been 25. Now let's look at this last one together. So we have 10 to the second power plus parentheses 3 times 8 minus 14 times 2. So we go to our please excuse my dear Aunt Sally to the right here. And we see that P comes first, and we know that P stands for parentheses. So we're going to do our parentheses first. So we have 3 times 8, which gives us 24. Now we bring down our plus sign here. Our subtraction, minus 14 times 2. And then we also can bring down our 10 squared. So after we've done our parentheses, we come over and we see the exponents right here. To our right is our next step. So we see that we have an exponent, which is 10 to the second power, which means we take 10 times itself. So 10 times 10 is 100. Plus 24 minus 14 times 2. Okay, so now we go and we see our next step. We know is multiplication. We do multiplication before we add or subtract. So 14 times 2 is 28. Bring down our subtract sign. And real quick, we can do 100 plus 24 is 124. So now we're left with 124 minus 28. I'm going to move it up here where I have some more room, so 124 minus 28. So I know I can't take 4 minus 8, so I borrow from my 2, make that a 1, carry the 1 over. 14 minus 8 is 6. So now I know I can't take 1 minus 2, but I can look at this as 11 minus 2, which is 9. So our answer for our bottom one would be 96. Your assignment for today is just to complete page 200 on the back of your daily schedule. Please work on this independently, and please do not be afraid to ask for help.